Okay, cool. Um, give me a few things that you guys are trying to work on as a team right now, if you have discussed that.
Goal line defense.
Okay, yeah, I watched through this whole replay already, so I could definitely say goal line defense is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Squashy, use your brain.
Spacing
how
is one
fluid
as
we
well.
are. Yeah, I would
Okay,
say
yep.
like defense offensive like transition and then like positioning and things with
Okay,
the three, making sure we're not doing anything crazy.
okay.
Like,
I think I'm gonna do also because like I said, I've already watched this one. I think I'm gonna go through and be nitpicky on rotations a lot. Um, because I did see a few blatant issues in my first watch through, and I'm sure I'll see more in the second. But okay, so we got goal line defense, we got spacing,
Mm-hmm.
I got rotations. What was the one you said, Squashy?
like defense, like the transition.
Transition. Okay. Which
I
I
think
think
we had
works into spacing as well.
yeah, we had one play I think where it was like so fucking beautiful, but it's just like getting that consistent, like doing that
Okay,
consistent.
cool. All right, cool. Let's see how this goes. Yeah, oh yeah, I remember that. That was just a good demo. All right, well, good, nice little handicap to start the game. We like that.
Did you just call me?
I called you a handicap, motherfucker. Bang! What a ceiling pinch.
That wasn't a very good touch.
It's not the touch that I'm necessarily concerned about. It's what happens after. So something, and I'm asking a lot here, Squashy. Did you call this ball?
I think I called touching one. Like
Got
I got one touch. I knew I beat Tragic, and so it was like I
in
just
my opinion, that is the right play from you. What I'm concerned about, and I saw this the first watch around, is first off the squishy. Second off is just the go on something that if you don't hit, he's getting beat on.
Is that a ball you
Um,
even go for or leave it and let it bounce? Because it could have just bounced straight down to KJ there. Or would you go
are
for
you
that?
talking?
My touch, like
Like
up here, because it went ceiling in front. I mean,
Yeah. So the only time that you ever go for a squishy is when you
no, no,
are
no, no, no. My
positioned.
touch on the wall up
Oh, your
here.
touch.
Yeah, is this
Uh
risky trying to touch this ball instead of letting it drop, or
huh.
because it was
if it was
awkward
me,
as fuck?
I would
No,
hit that shit.
you have to touch it.
Okay.
Like it
Reason
puts
why? Bam. You have to touch that ball. If you don't, and especially because of that, Blessed has an open shot. You have to touch that ball.
Okay.
Now, is the touch great?
No,
No.
it's horrible. I know that.
But it does the job in at least buying enough time for your defense to reestablish itself.
Okay.
Um,
it's better than the alternative, which would have been
let
like
me
KJ
see.
spot with
Could
I think I shouldn't have
Blessed.
flipped into it. I think if I just touch like a single jump, I get a way better pinch on that ball too. I gotta
You
stop.
might,
Yeah, look, I
yeah,
front
you might
flipped.
have pushed it up into the
Yeah. I don't even
and your car
need to
control.
dodge here. Honestly, I probably can just touch it and then try to see what happens.
Like yeah, for
the
me, if
only
I
other what you
mechanically, I oh sorry,
no go ahead.
I would say I would single jump into that and then backflip back into the wall. You know what I
Okay.
mean to land back on the brick
Yeah.
wall. So use that like single jump right there to
Mhm.
pop it, let your car float away just a little bit, and then backflip into the wall and land.
Yeah.
Once you see this, there's a few things that you can do. You are limited on boost. However, what I would do, I would cut to the right and try to get the touch to go into the
Yeah.
left corner.
Opposite
Hit it
corner
over to the left side.
where
Yep,
nobody is. Yeah.
exactly. You want to figure out where people are, what you can do with it. Popping it out straight middle is not the
It's a
ideal
panic
touch,
touch.
or even bringing it across to the other corner. Now, because the ball is going towards the left side, it'll be easier to get it to the left.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Okay.
the other thing is trying to read where it touches on the ceiling. That's the harder part, I think, in this scenario, and
Mhm.
why the touch happened the way that it did. because that could either get that weird bounce like it did, or it could waterfall and just roll.
Yeah.
So you don't really know what it's going to do right away. The quicker you can identify that, the quicker and easier it'll be to decide on what's the best move,
Okay.
and where to hit it.
Bet.
Cool. But yeah, the one thing I would say about KJ there, uncontrolled speed is the worst thing to have. I'd rather you be slow than have uncontrolled speed. So I always got to be watching this VOD back over. So that would be biggest advice. Figure out how to control that speed. Because speed is speed. Once you get to a certain level, everybody's fast. It's do you have quicker reaction times?
Then are you fast moving to where you need to be?
I peeked forward too much as a backman here.
No, I'm not actually looking at you yet. I'll get to you.
Okay.
So this was actually something that when I was watching, I was interested in. So something that, and this is strictly for KJ here, somebody's watching the VOD back over. A great boost steal. I love the boost steal. Obviously, we see games hitting the ball, and you're most likely going to be hitting the ball towards KJ, right?
Right, outlet.
Exactly. If you guys were KJ, what would you do?
I would honestly just kind of post up here on the wall for a second and see what
you post up.
How far
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. I would literally right here.
He can get a touch back to the middle as another pass.
Yep. Right here at that boost pad, I just turn my wheel left and go up the wall a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But because he is going so fast and he's focused on maintaining that speed, we get an interesting little K turn. But the other thing that I want you guys to also look at, I don't mean to pick on KJ here, but I do. These are important things.
Yeah.
We used 20 boost to get from that boost pad to over here, because I guarantee if Game didn't hit the ball over there, he was going to take that mid pad too. And then probably the back corner. So he does a K turn. We have so far used 50 boost to do nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, boost management huge.
Boost management is a big thing. And I see it a lot with players that try to be extremely fast. I used to have a teammate that used to throw himself out of position all the time because all he was worried about was speed, 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 speed. Wouldn't always be the right play, but he'd be the fastest to the ball. And we ended up losing a lot because of that.
Yeah.
And you see it a lot in your guys' rank. A lot of people try to overcompensate with just flat out speed, but half the time their mechanics are good enough that they could be probably the slowest player on the field and still be the best player on the field because of it.
Yeah, and KJ is very mechanical.
I've seen it
in that category.
But then the next thing that I had seen was after all of that, where does he go? He's following the ball. And now we're getting into squashy airspace. So now what happens is we got two players there. Then he does a really fast turn. And then Game's got to kind of back off. Then we got ball side rotation.
Mm-hmm.
So KJ, one thing that I want you to focus on. I'm just going to talk to him over VOD real quick. You come here, cool. We're going. Don't go up that wall. Come follow this pad line. And get back, post, get ready. Game and Squashy have already got the passing set up. You play third man until you can insert yourself in there. Very cool. It's another just ball side rotation. We want to cut those out. Because ball side rotation, what ends up happening is we have where are my
You grab your crayons. Hey.
Yeah. We got 3 people in that circle.
In one quadrant, yeah.
Actually, if we really, really, really want to be technical, we have 5 of the 6 players in this lobby in that circle.
Yeah, that's where it's going down, bro.
Quadrant.
It's popping over here.
If I'm KJ here, and this is just me, and you guys can tell me if you don't like the idea, being that we have these 3 all here, if I'm KJ, I'm trying to stay somewhere in this general vicinity.
Yeah, I would say there, and if he wants boost and back, I think then like just from where you are, yeah, like down there below blessed.
Let me
That way
just
he'll
go
be able
back real
like
quick
yeah,
just to
Well,
somewhere in the
see.
near
what he's
quadrant.
saying is KJ was already. If me and you get beat here, we're fucked. But KJ's already upfield, and what he's saying was everybody's clustered up. If he just kind of
Yeah,
sits at
yeah.
the mid and we get a good 50, he's gonna have a very good chance of scoring because the entire lobby is on this 50. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to get
Ideally,
at.
yep. Ideally, if I'm KJ here, we see balls right side, right? If
Mm-hmm.
I'm KJ, I'm going boom. Maybe here, just following this, I could grab that, or I could go boom, 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 and follow. And then kind of just keep an eye on what's happening here. This ball jets out mid. Cool. Boom.
Yeah.
You want
Yeah,
to
and
be able to
that's what I
insert
was going
yourself
with.
into the play.
That
Yeah.
if you're looking at KJ's like if you're looking at him positionally for potential counterattack, like I'd rather have him on the safer side,
Yep,
which is
which is
either
down over here.
further back post in that quadrant. Because yeah, if it goes middle, like he has
Yep.
that. If it gets behind us, he now drops and is near post challenging.
Yep.
And it gives us that time. If he's up forward here, if because we're you and I are in such close proximity, if we get beat, we're fucked.
Yep.
Like if it goes middle, we're fucked. Like we have to force that to go where he is then.
Something that I want you guys to think of when you have a ball that's over there and you are rotating back. Think of this center line as your divider. So obviously you got one side, one side. When you are coming back, you want to be on the opposite side of this divider, and you do not want to cross into this divider until you are ready to make a play.
Yep. 'Cause you're
Right?
gonna have to do an
So
awkward turn.
exactly. As soon as you and what that prevents is hesitation.
Yeah.
As soon as you come across this line, all right, I got to make a play. So we're going. We're going. That if it all tracks because if you're following this line, you are now back post. What do you do back post? You're going to cover obviously the net, or if this ball comes down, you're covering. Now you've committed past that line.
Yeah.
Think of that mid divider as your point of no return.
Plus, being there, the whole play is in front of you, so there's no chance of it hitting over your head and have to do a 360 boost star, then
Exactly.
take it to the other corner.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let me look at your rotations here. Game. Good boost grab. I like it. You did exactly that. You stayed on the other side of the
Is it too
divider
wide though?
and didn't. Huh?
I've been curious about this. Was that like too wide? I think
Yes,
there's times where
absolutely.
like I'm too wide and it's causing me time. Cause like
So
Squashy's in a
you
weird situation right now, and I'm pretty far. I was looking at
I think
this the
that
other
line
day.
from corner, like you have the big sweeping arching boosts, like corner, and then like beeline for those two that are in a row that kind of aim at back post.
Okay, but
Because
do
that
you
starts bringing you in a little quicker. But
mechanically do you know how to like fast turn yourself?
uh,
is that like the like press and release power slide
Not
turn?
press and release it. Spam like 2 or 3 times while you're boosting. You'll get more of a direct turn. You'll see even some players will do it 3 4 times. You're spamming power slide, and instead of going wide like that, you'll end up coming in and already kind of being on this like midline here,
yeah,
and then you can kind of cut in and do that,
yeah,
and then cut when you need.
I got you.
It just sharper turns. That's all it does.
Yeah. Also, it costs you time if I go wide doing the turns as well.
Yeah.
And boost.
Yep. I mean, you were good by, you had speed, so you weren't wasting boost, which is good. You really didn't use any boost in getting back because you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Oh, I got some fun stats. Can go this. They're just I'll just I gotta find.
Um,
I should be back post.
I'm actually looking at Squashy here. I'll look at you after.
Oh, I went for a
So my
demo. That's why. Okay, my fault.
that's fine. I don't mind that. Squashy, the one thing I would tell you, I don't like the into net power slide and then lose all sorts of momentum. You can see, and I wanna see your POV here actually. You know KJ's beating him there, or at least that the ball is not going to be directly shot. The only time that you really want to be like in net ready to save something like that is going to be if there is a direct threat to a shot, right? So,
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard fucking habit to break.
yes, I see it all the time from you when I watch your pod.
Like it's like almost a mental reset. It's like I get there and I'm like, all right, and then like right back out. Like it's the weirdest shit. I catch myself doing it, but I don't know.
It makes your life harder in the net, though. That's the problem.
It not only makes your life harder in the net, but it also makes your offense a lot slower.
Yeah.
Because the only chance that you guys have at offense directly in this position is going to be KJ getting a absolute dime to game, and then game hitting the nuttiest fucking clip of his life.
I'm hitting the
He did
post.
that.
On God.
He did that.
he's hitting the post.
Yeah.
He did that already the other day.
Yeah.
Well, so let me go back real quick, and I'll show you what I would have done here, or what I wish I would have done, because who knows if I actually would have done it. So first off, no need to flip here. I don't mind it, but the flip with the boost is what kills you, because you go, and that's why I think you do this so often, because you do that a lot. You flipped here, and by the time you landed, you ended up here. It's a lot of distance that you covered, which in a scenario where you need it, that's great. You cover a lot of distance. Is there any threat that you need to rush into that spot? No. So instead, you take this slower. Where were you? You were, let's say, right there. Okay. You're here, right? You're going boom, and you're going boom. As soon as you see KJ, you're creeping, okay, boom. Now you're here. You could do a bunch, and you're probably there faster than that, but
dunk his ass.
You see how different your transition game gets if you are quicker with your recognition of where that ball is going. This is the safe bet. This will, cover your asses on, missed touches or times that you get beat. It's where you need to recognize when that's not happening and take advantage of that.
So it's like playing defense too defensively when it's a non-threat type situation.
So if KJ touches this, if he doesn't, I think I might have been looking at Blessed. Because I'm like, if KJ doesn't double, like there's that opportunity, and I guess I did. Yeah, at that point, Blessed was turning forward or not.
Say KJ doesn't double that, and we had already said you were going to be about right here. He doesn't double that, you're beating Blessed every day of the week. You have the ability to now start that offense. Because now if KJ doesn't double that, he's going to be up on the wall. You pass it up to him. Game gets a fucking demo on this bitch.
Yeah.
He was
that guy in particular.
Yeah, that guy can eat it. Sorry, Tragic, if you end up somehow seeing this. I don't know who you are, but all love.
Nah, but in the game, he's a bitch.
Yeah.
It goes for y'all, too, if you're on the other team. Then we're good after.
But that's what being not as cautious gets you, is actually a better play style.
Yeah.
I understand, because KJ does play so fast, you feel like you have to be that anchor back here. But in reality, you being an anchor will slow down the team in the long run.
Yeah, I think looking at the I don't know, the rotation is if KJ does get the ball, that's a fat anchor right there.
Move that ass, boy.
KJ does get anchored. Jesus, I get me fucked up. If he does get like control or possession or whatever, and he forces this, like in my head, I'm like, okay, he's won, right? And then with where game is, like it's like to me, it's like, well, it doesn't make sense for him to come all the way back and then try to like slide in behind KJ. Like he keeps that rotation. I just go support for KJ. wall side, which I guess is kind of what ended up happening. But no, I see the benefit though of it's a more aggressive when it allows, I guess.
Yeah. And it's all about reading.
And
It's a lot of
identifying
it's a lot of pattern recognition is what it is. Once you recognize the pattern, you know where to go from there. It's just drilling it in your brain to break those bad habits. Something else that I wanted to talk with you here. Let's see if we can take a look. Okay. So when you're going to hit this ball, you see you have Paz coming on your left, pause, and then Bless in front of you over there.
Yeah.
Were you trying to shoot this?
No, I called mid pass.
Okay. Okay.
And then he just blocked
What I
the
would
pass.
so a big thing, because I'm also a huge I'm a big passer. That's what I do.
Yeah.
Anybody covering backward?
Yeah, I guess that's an option.
Yeah, like
for sure.
I think is the
That's
better
your
pass
best
option
option.
on the out pass, like off the sidewall.
No. I would say best option is let me get my fly cam. Best option is hitting that right about here with some
The
speed.
height, yeah.
Because right there with speed, because that angle is gonna come out and come right about there.
Right.
Where are you? Right there. Boom.
I remember this pass because I said passing middle, and then I went something along the lines of like, "Are you fucking serious? He blocks that." In my head, where because Bless just got beat, I'm like, Paz is going to like panic, fucking crash the corner.
Yeah,
because he's gonna think I'm taking it forward, and then I'm just going to get that like slicing pass to the left.
Mm-hmm. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, even Bless might get it. It would be a really good touch from him if he is able to get it. But when you hit the ball, he wasn't there. If I'm looking at pattern recognition, I'm either hitting it there or this. You can hit it here off the corner, but Tragic is probably reading that.
Yeah.
And looking at where Paz was,
right here, I'm like Paz is going to crash straight like from there to that first bend in the wall, like next to Blessed, and he's gonna try to stop me from taking it forward. And so I'm like, if I bang it forward, bang it corner, whatever, and obviously like I didn't think about all of this, but I was just like, he's taking one play down to the side.
Your idea actually isn't a bad idea looking at it just after the play, because Bless probably has you covered. But what you do, and this is you hit it with corner of your car, and it goes up towards net. Paz actually believes you're shooting the ball here. I don't believe he's covering the mid pass.
Yeah. I was surprised he got it.
What you can do when you're coming at this ball, you're here. You're going to come at the ball, jump, and at the last second, side flip into it. It creates essentially a direct out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
so instead of going up like that, it's going to go out like that. Because your mid pass, realistically, I want to see it from this POV real quick.
I think it was like a bad execution. Like,
yeah,
I want
going right here.
Like I'm hitting it. Yeah, I'm hitting it just with the corner.
Yeah, it's really just like a miss off the post sort of shot, and that's why Paz blocks it. If it's a direct mid pass, you got it on lock. Game's gonna fucking hit that shit off the crossbar.
Yeah, I want.
Sorry, I'm not gonna say you're gonna score a game. Sorry, man.
He never scores. He just passes to the net.
But no, so it was just execution. The idea actually isn't bad. So you just negate like what the beginning half of what I said. But also when you are, because you do like to pass a lot, identify where the open spot is. If you hit it backboard there, I wouldn't have been surprised because I probably just looking at it the first time over would have hit it backboard. So you can get a mid pass there, but it has to be a direct mid pass or that back, or you could even loft it high off backboard with some speed.
Because I mean,
However,
even lofting it, like if Bless does follow that up the wall or whatever, like that just buys time then. Like, and then that starts that we have them in the zone. We can start locking in pressure and
yeah.
playing our offense.
This is actually a question for both of you, real quick. I don't know if Game is here or not, but with looking at their defense right now, is this a good defense or is this a bad defense, and why?
I don't think
don't
it's
mind
that
it.
bad if Bless plays wall.
Yeah, because Paz then has pressure on ball. Bless plays wall. If Paz gets beat
Yeah,
and
if Bless
Tragic is
plays back like high wall here to either make the touch if he needs to or goes back post with it, like I don't think it's that bad.
the only thing I do think though is that if Paz misses or you get any sort of opportunity, Tragic's fucking backwards. Like he's driving into the goal, I think, right now.
So this is a
And
lot
so like
like what we were talking about yesterday on our end when we get into the. This is a lot like what our goal line defense looks like when it's so cluttered and the 1 and 2 man can, like, if Bless stays close, one ball can beat both of them, and then there's a number game on the goalkeeper.
In my opinion, this is actually a pretty solid defense from them. They have mid pass essentially covered. Now, if you get a really good touch, he's not covering it, but they got mid pass pretty much covered, or someone on ball. They're going to have somebody on backboard, and they're going to have someone on net. It becomes very difficult to score on a defense setup like that. There has to be some sort of mistake that the defense makes. So in this scenario, what I want you guys to really just think about when you're trying to set up an offense is when is our best time to strike. If you can't get through this defense the first time around, don't try to force something. Continue to pass between the players. Say, make sure you're calming where the ball's going to go. If you guys get a beat and you turn that into a 2-on-3 or a 2-on-2, whatever it is, now you have a better scoring opportunity. We can catch them off guard. Identify how their defense is set up. Obviously, you can't see it, but they got 300 boosts between the three of them. They are damn near close to it. They got a lot of boost. They're set up well positionally. It's going to be hard to score on them. So instead of trying to force something, maybe take the safe bet, throw it off the corner, and regroup. Let everybody get some boost because you guys between the three of you don't even have 100 boost.
Yeah.
So in this positioning, they got you guys on lock. If you guys score on this, they just suck. So it's recognizing when the defense is set up properly from them and knowing when to strike. Peppering the net sometimes works, but realistically, it's not the best option. I like the idea of a mid pass. However, think about what's going to be best for you guys, not just in that direct moment, but if you pass this mid and Paz gets a absolutely phenomenal dunk, now they have a counterattack opportunity. So it's just thinking about the possibilities around it and seeing what your best option is play wise. It's a tough call in that scenario, honestly.
Risk reward, yeah.
Risk versus reward, absolutely. If you can identify that their defense is set up in a way that is too risky for you guys to try to set up a play, it is completely fine to say, all right, I'm going to keep the ball close. I'm going to get a 50. I'm going to try to bait somebody out. Like, that's completely fine. A lot of great teams here are going to say, all right, I'm going to get a 50 and force that 50 mid, and game's just ready to fucking pounce on that. That's how a lot of my teams have operated in the past, is just playing ready offense whenever you're about to get a 50, because we know that ball is going to be coming towards us just because everybody was really good at getting 50s. So you got to figure out in that scenario what's going to be your guys' best bet.
So if we're doing that, like, it's probably on me as the guy that's 2 behind. He's looking forward. Like, hey, it'd be better to take a 50 here, because he can't make that decision like that quick. Like, he's trying to make a play, and the only person that could see that if you're completely set up would probably be me to tell him to take a 50 and try to follow it, right?
Yes and no. It comes down to recognition of where players are. So in my head, I know Paz is going to be on my left. I know the other guy is going to be on the left as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here, Bless is in front of you. uh,
He
it's
kind of
tough.
came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, you can just by
Like, I know
where you
he's-
saw him, you can infer that he's going to be somewhere on your left. You don't know exactly where though. So yeah, game. It's not a bad idea to throw out a call like letting Squashy know what's open.
Right.
If you can see it quicker, because let's go back to
Because
your POV.
the backman's always going to have the best view of the field, and when you're taking a
You could,
50 and
yep,
pushing, like it's really hard to focus on anything but getting a good hit or a 50.
yeah, and where you are here, you can let Squashy know, throw it off corner.
Mm-hmm.
Squashy
Well,
just
like,
adjusts, throws it off corner.
play corner, 50 mid, like
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
You do it in other scenarios. But just said, yeah, just like in that offensive end for the pass. Because in my head, I'm just like passing middle. Like, I know you're there somewhere.
Yeah.
You know, pass is going to be a little bit more net side than he was. And the touch was just higher than realistically limited.
Another rotational thing I'm going to go over for KJ real quick. You got this boost. Start going this way. Ball's on this side. Come this way. If these spawn, good. If not, boom. Now you're back midfield.
Yep. Because it keeps the flow. That little triangle
Exactly.
that keeps.
Instead, watch. I want you guys to watch what KJ does. He doesn't really know where to go, so he's kind of just driving around. It's wasted movement.
Yeah.
So find that center line, find that divider, and stick to it. This was one that I was curious on. So Squashy doesn't. One, I'm not sure why KJ jumps like that. It's interesting.
I probably should have
But-
never been over there though. I should probably just be chilling back post.
Yep, that's one because you now have crossed this line.
Right. With
So
momentum, so I'm like hard committed to go into this corner as well.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So you grab this boost or you grab some boost over here. Just boom, boom.
Yeah. Because
And
nobody's
see what
even
happens.
on him. There's no threat, so I overreacted to the threat level here. Big time.
Yep. And this is another thing that I want you guys to identify. KJ is jumping, and he's jumping to bang that ball away. Why? Right? If this ball is here, who we got? Taz ain't going for the ball. Take control of the ball. Don't be afraid to take it a little slower. One of the best players that I have ever been able to play with team-wise was probably also the most patient player that I've ever played with. Actually, sorry, the top 2 players that I've ever played with are the most patient players that I've ever played with as well. They know when to strike.
Yeah.
Good
They got high
outlet pass
pattern
there, Squashy.
recognition.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a really good outlet play there, boys.
Mm-hmm.
You guys didn't have a lot of boost between the two of you, but you guys made it work.
But my comms were I'm booming it and buying time. And then I went, wait, what the fuck? You scored?
Yeah.
I was just trying to out it so that way because
No, but
I
I
knew
knew
I was
that.
wrong.
Before you touched it, I knew that. So I'm either
Yeah.
getting a bump or I'm getting the touch. Either way.
Yeah.
So if it goes over me, I'll bump this bitch and let KJ come in and take it once we get up there. But usually your shit's pretty on point with the far outlet redirects.
All right.
Touch was dog shit.
Whose ball is that?
Squash.
I think it's mine because I take high.
Absolutely. KJ needs to sit on the ground. There's no reason to jump for that whatsoever. You now have both players that have committed and the net basically open if Paz knows how to shoot, which he doesn't. You guys lucked out. Fuck Paz. Respectfully.
Yep.
You guys should have gotten scored on there.
Oh, for sure.
And you end up turning it. You guys end up turning it into a goal. But
Yeah.
we cannot bank on that
No.
long term. The biggest thing when a ball's coming like that, if you have somebody on the ground and someone it's playing high-low defense. If the ball goes up high, guy in the backboard gets it. If the ball goes low, the guy on the ground gets it. It's very simple, very simple.
The big thing is it has to be communicated immediately. If it goes high, the guy on the wall's like, I got it. If it goes low, the guy on the goal says, I got it. Because there's a lot of times where that ball is like coming towards the top post, and it could be made for either guy to get it. and then nobody calls it, and then we double commit on it. And I'm one of the worst of it because no one's calling that I've got it. Does that make sense? Like you got one on the wall,
Yeah.
one in the net, and it's like right on the top post, and then we're kind of like, is he going? I'm going type shit, and then we just commit.
I would take it a step further even to just like as soon as the decision's made for high and low, which we kind of do, but like just making it like a hard constant is just
Yeah.
calling high, I got low. And that way, because if you call the I got it, especially with fucking Discord delay, it might be just long enough where the guy in net's like, I have to go now or I can't reach it.
Yeah.
Um,
The
but just
beauty, yeah,
having kind of checking those boxes of what is being covered.
the beauty of high-low defense is that you actually don't have to communicate it, which is wonderful. All you have to communicate is where you are. One person says net, the other one says backboard. It is assumed when you run a high-low defense that if the ball goes high, the backboard gets it. The ball goes low, the guy on the ground gets it. If you want to take it the next level, you can and call it or do whatever. But if you play high-low defense and the guy on the ground calls it, but it goes high, is the guy in the backboard not going to go for it? He probably still is going to go for it. So you're going to be fucked one way or another. So what I usually like to do is if you call where you are, if the ball goes high, backboard gets it. If the ball goes low, goalie gets it. It's the easiest and quickest way to go about everything.
But
It also avoids confusion, like Squashy was saying. There's no delay. There's no hesitation. That goalie can already know if that ball goes high, he does not have to jump for it. And they know that Squashy's on the backboard. We're good to go.
Roger that.
So. This is the one that I was talking to Squashy about. All right.
Before he
Sorry,
stopped
KJ.
and just went to my POV and shit on me until you got here.
All right. I'm going to watch this real quick. I got KJ. Just grab boost. He's now going to zoom upfield. And what happens that we see is when KJ zooms upfield, he is not in control. So he's kind of just trying to make the fastest play. Let's go right down here real quick. What happens? Tragic pops this ball out mid. If KJ is even here with not supersonic, he is going to score this every day of the week. However, because he is supersonic and has a case of I want to touch the ball, we're going to boom it to the side. And now we got no offense set up because Game and Squashy both do not have boost. So they both go back for boost. Squashy gets boost, Game doesn't, and then we get scored on. We take a blatant open net and we turn it into an awkward ball that we end up getting scored on because of a lack of control. That's something that we have to work on, and it's just we can't have it happen.
I also
right.
could have controlled it on that sidewall, recognizing what happened, that it kind of broke down. Like, if I took my time a little bit once it got to the sidewall, I could have bought more time for people to get into position. I think I just went, like, immediately. So we do that. I go back. I see Squashy's going back now. I'm like, okay. So I turn up here, and, like, I don't think I had to, like... Honestly, putting that mid was what made it more riskier, I think. If I put that towards the corner, it buys more time.
I think even like throwing the brakes on, because I like right before the touch right here, like there's nobody doing.
Yep, I was just about to say that. Right here,
like, even back up and back down the wall, or turn yourself down the wall and just wait for the second bounce. That forces Jesus. That forces traffic to want to turn towards you, or Paddle to turn towards you, and then.
Yeah, because my touch puts you in even a worse situation.
There isn't a person within about 2 to 3 seconds of this ball.
Yeah.
You got time.
Yep.
Yeah, plenty of time. So yes, you are right. Popping it mid like that definitely did not help you.
No, it hard committed him to go for it. It's kind of like making that type of pass in twos.
Oh boy. First we're gonna go with Game, then we're gonna talk about KJ after. So Game, what were you thinking there?
I thought it was gonna be a little bit softer, but looking at it like from, can you go to my POV?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know if somebody was behind me on my right. Like Blessed is back in their net, so I thought maybe in my head if I can just kind of keep this close and take a 50 and go back towards that corner. Like I'm thinking in my head here that somebody's behind me going to shoot that, which there wasn't. That I can see that now. Wasn't a good touch, but I like if you go back right before the touch, if I get my soft touch just a little bit to the corner, I can follow it up. Like it obviously didn't go the way I wanted. Like I'm thinking if I could hit it almost right where Squash is, right here, softly, so I can follow it up with my momentum going that way with the amount of boost I have, that would avoid the guy that I'm thinking, because they've been crashing with 3 people this entire game. So I fully expected someone to be in my ass to beat that. Either way, it's a terrible touch.
I understand the reasoning.
Okay.
One of the things we covered before, because we were talking about this, is like right as that play happens and it starts pushing towards middle, like right here, I need to be telling you that there's nobody there.
Yes.
Like no pressure, let it go, whatever. So that way you don't have to go like, oh shit, is there somebody fucking, is the third already behind me in our box? Like,
yeah, you know what I'm saying though, because they would just put balls in front of the net with 2 people going at it and not giving a fuck.
We'd have a 3v1 fucking 50.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
So I want you to put your creative cap on for a second. What's something else that you could do with this ball?
Well, if nobody's behind me, I can let it go. Or
okay,
I can pop it high off the backboard.
Okay. How about this? Makes it very simple as well. Are we in the right spot? Yes. Okay. We're here. We come in. This ball's coming in. All we have to do is just hit it right here and continue to follow.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what I wanted to do. I just didn't get the touch. Like, I think I cornered it at like 90 degrees, so it hits my corner and then goes up.
Okay, so you were trying. You wanted to get the ball over here.
I was trying to get it over here so I could follow it and keep it on the wall so it's not in danger because I thought somebody was behind me. And then I popped it up and turned too much with the touch.
Gotcha. Okay, so it was a mechanical error rather than anything.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right, that covers that. Now let's on to KJ. All right, we see KJ. It's coming around. Back post. Well, that's problem number 1. We blew through back post. Now, I was showing Squashy this before you got here, game. If we're here, boom, you never make that mistake. That mistake never once happens. However,
plus your because body's facing out to the open space, like the open mid boost or their corner, like you can literally direct it to where you're the only one that can follow it up and buy time.
Well, if he plays it forward wall side, I'm corner right now.
Yeah, and opens up the outlet pass.
And that the transitions, and you basically just hit a fucking banger right.
Yep.
And
then you do some weird shit off the wall that happens to work.
Yep. But then, on top of that, the next problem becomes, even after the mistake is made, we make another mistake by coming in here. Then we cut in. We can't compound mistakes. So if we make a mistake, we have to get back to the even ground. Can't continue to compound mistakes on top of each other.
Yeah, the worst mistake's the next one.
Exactly. Yeah.
I just read about that in my chess book. I think it applies here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I shouldn't have turned back up field here. Right? I go back there? I'm assuming I turned because he had no boost, but kind of made it awkward for him.
Well, I think you turn it like I'm just holding back.
No, I'm actually fine with that game.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't know. The only thing I would do here, game, turn off ball cam real quick just to see like where people are on the field, or flick your stick to the right, because you don't really know where everybody's at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly I don't either. But it's a habit to get into. Like I do it, but not enough.
Yeah.
It's a good habit to get into because you really can't see much. You see tragic, but you have no idea where the other two are at.
Agreed.
If you flick your stick to the right, you see that guy's there. You know you're not going for the ball.
Yeah.
You know that's happening.
That's a good call.
So at that point, you don't have to move upfield. You can just rotate properly. But truthfully, if you're in that position, let me go back real quick. If you're in that position, what are your rotations anyways? They're going to be this way.
Right.
So it doesn't really hurt you. It just, it's a little slow, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Doesn't really hurt you in the sense like you didn't commit to the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't mind it.
Roger that.
I think it's if you want to be extremely nitpicky, you can say whatever about it. Squashy missed the boost. But no, I'm not opposed to it. Good job moving up for pass, Squashy. You
Way to
instead
stay up
of
there,
holding
too,
yourself in there.
That's what we wanted on that other play. He stayed for that one. He knew it was awkward.
Right, can you go back? That was.
So you grab the boost, you get the hell out of dodge, you come in, instead of staying in net, you move up again. Good.
Okay.
That's what I want you to do. Because now you get a 50 on that guy, where if you stayed in net, Paz has a free touch on the ball.
I'm just trying to frames of reference and categorizing those Jesus. Categorizing those moments, right? To be like this was good, keep doing that, and then throw that one in the garbage.
Bad. No. Bad. Okay, we got no boost. What are we gonna do? Do one of two things. Boom. 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 Or where are we? Here. Boom, 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 boom. However you want to do it, KJ. But doing that is not going to work. Because now you and him are having a Spider-Man staring contest. That's no bueno. No bueno. So, make sure we are following proper rotations. Rotate backside, back post. That way Game knows when he can go versus when he can't. Now let's go to you, Game, because I have a sense that I'm going to see something here.
Yeah. Again, peeking forward as the back man when they're clearly about to bang the ball. Be better to be back post and wait.
Yes and no. So not a bad choice if KJ follows proper rotations. Since he doesn't, it puts you in an awkward position. So, looking at it, you could say, yeah, being back post is good, but realistically, this ball is all the way up here. Technically, Squashy is in like a first man, depending on where that ball pops down.
Yeah.
You're in a good spot because where I would have been is like kind of towards like this ramp here to go up the wall in case Bless bangs it towards wall / corner, which is exactly what he did.
Would you have
So
been
you're
on the
in a
wall
good-
before he hit the ball?
No, I would not have been on the wall. I would have been very kind of where you are right here,
But turned towards the wall.
ready. Not even turned. You could be straight on, but close enough where you can get because if you're here, that ball's coming corner or up towards this wall. You could turn up and get it on the wall. You could turn up and get it on this corner, get a nice little bang downfield.
Yeah.
You have a lot of options.
I can cover by doing it that way as well.
Exactly. However, because KJ turned in and started giving you the death stare there, you hesitate and you can't do anything because you just back up and let KJ go for it. You end up being able to hit the ball, so it wasn't the end of the world. However, there was a much better play, and y'all should have gotten scored on again.
Yes.
But you guys see how impactful having a lapse in rotations can be on both your defense and your offense. You guys aren't rotating properly, you're going to have a lot more threatening situations happen, as well as having less threatening situations on the other team. So, yeah,
We're like nerfing ourselves or kneecapping ourselves.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You guys have the potential to be a very, very, very good team with the mixture of the three of you guys. However, if the rotations don't get figured out, you're not gonna go very far, unfortunately. And that's just me being as blunt as I
That's true.
possibly can.
Yeah.
Because there will be teams in vet that have decent rotations, and that's really in vet with the three of you guys. All you need is decent rotations.
Yeah.
And to not miss the ball on the wall.
Yeah.
I kid. Also, something that I've noticed, I haven't seen a lot of demos coming out from you guys.
They were just pretty fast, and we
Game.
were boost starved quite a bit. I tried to get some demos, but I definitely didn't get near as many as I normally do. And we were probably on defense 70% of the series.
I know that it was a game 4. I brought that up. I was like, we need to disrupt them more. Like when we could get it in their end, then it was beneficial. I think like we were able to take advantage of that. But what got them out of it was them holding a good defensive posture.
Yeah.
All right, Squashy. We've been getting you to, get out of your comfort zone, be ready to move up. I think it's something that you also have to recognize is when is a good time to move up versus when it's time to just rotate out of there. So I like the fact that you're upfield ready for a bang. All right. Planting yourself in this position is a decent spot to be. You start turning back, and then game gets kind of like a little awkward touch for you. There's no shame in saying, I'm not going to really be able to do much with this. I'm just going to rotate back. Boom. Let KJ and Game take the offense back over.
Yeah.
And then you fill in. All right. Instead, what happens is you start kind of going towards the ball, and now you and Game are basically touching tips over there.
That's what we like to do.
You want to cross sword?
I know. Sword fight. It's a noodle fight. But no, so in that situation, and once again, you're going, even though it's not directly the same, you are going ball side. You're rotating back ball side. It's going to throw off rotations. It's going to throw off your guys' speed, as well as your ability to transition into that next play. Don't be afraid to just let Game and KJ run that show for a second and then rotate back in.
Yeah, I don't think the opportunity to do that. I found myself doing it more often, but you almost fucking nailed me in that, by the way. But yeah, that was definitely one of those where I should have and didn't.
Did you realize that you were as low boost as you were when you jumped for this?
Yeah, I figured I was either going to get a 50 or I was just going to force the touch to go high.
Okay.
And then, like, a lot of my challenges are just to force, like, especially shit like this. It's just to get him to do something that he doesn't want to do. So that, yeah, like it just plays into KJ or Game.
Can I be honest about something? That didn't do jack shit. He honestly had no idea that you were jumping, just based off of what I was watching.
How close was I to hitting it?
If you got that boost pad that you jumped right over, you probably would have touched it, or been close to being able to block it. It's not the worst jump. Like I'm not upset about it per se. I probably just I don't think I would jump for it.
Risk versus reward wasn't.
Yeah, it's another one of those moments where I'm like, you can force him high, but with no boost, you're kind of putting yourself out of the play. Where instead maybe you can turn back around, and if he does somehow get towards net and have the potential to get a good shot on, then you might be able to pull a crazy save out of your ass. But I take that chance more than I take touching that with 14 boost. Really good 50. And good positioning by KJ to be ready for that 50.
Yep.
Yeah, that happened. That was said very.
No, that's a good jump. I'm happy with that one. Yeah, not bad. I mean, not bad. Your biggest thing that's holding you guys back is your rotations, truthfully. Um, there's too many times that you guys are clustered and not ready for that next play. But you are right. Even in a game that you guys won, you were on defense a lot of the time.
Yep.
I mean,
Well, they took
I'm looking
advantage
at
of it. We were discombobulated on our goal line. Like that was
yep,
probably our worst part of the game. So they
yep.
recognized that and immediately just kept lobbing, and that's why they felt all the free. Like they felt free enough to just challenge with the third man with no regards to shit because they just boost starved us and put it over our goal, knowing that we were doing awkward shit. And eventually, it's gonna get to the point where we ain't got no boost. They have the boost, and no matter what you do, you don't have the boost to contest the shot, and it's gonna go in when you keep that
Mm-hmm.
midfield pressure and you boost starve somebody like that and you don't have that spacing on the defensive front, you're gonna get fucked.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So for fun, I thought this was telling. I just like went ball chasing, went on ball chasing and pulled the stats from our first game with KJ. And there was one, or well, two stats that I saw, and I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ. So this was an average over the 4 matches for boost per minute. I had 347. Game had 378. KJ had 441.
Mm.
And then the amount used while supersonic.
Yeah, that was
Game had
horrible in that.
322. I had 121. So an average of 120 boost used or wasted per game. KJ had 394. I was like, wait, what the fuck? That's got to be wrong. But it was that slowing down, like playing fast, but not with speed, like with positioning and
Well, a lot of
that
that
sort
too
of
is when
thing.
you go all the way back for boost every time instead of holding midfield pressure. You get your 100 boost, you spend 50 of it to get back where you could have already been chilling, and like that little J hook that he was talking about from first man
Yeah.
back to midfield, like a little semicircle, you're gonna have more boost that way than if you go all the way back and like. Unless you absolutely know they're about to bang it over both guys, we shouldn't be going back. And I'm trying to fix this myself. That's why I recognize it, and I'm I'm not assessing what's actually a threat and overreacting to shit that doesn't need to happen. And then I'm out of position to make the play I need to because I did that.
Very true.
Yeah. That's honestly that and overcommitting as a third man on offense is probably my two biggest things to work on. Other than the shit you talked about today. These are
Mm-hmm.
just things
I
I
really did.
notice when I look
I
back
didn't
at the
see
replay.
too. I didn't see too much of that in this game. Might have been in some other games, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, I really think that your guys, it boils down to what you had said earlier, game about your goal line defense, specifically blowing through that back post too much. Um, or so between you and KJ, your biggest problems are blowing through back post. Squashy, your biggest problem is just sitting in net, like and power sliding into net and then sitting in net. I see that a lot. And I understand why you do it because it's a mental thing rather than anything. You just got to break that habit.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I don't know. Like I've seen too that there are times where, and maybe it's that I'm rotating back. I don't want to say I'm rotating back too fast because then mentally I'll be like, oh well, I can take my time rotating back, which isn't the case. But I kind of get back to net at a point where I'm like, okay, like now the play has to move, but instead like changing that to as I'm coming back, if I know there's that opportunity, like I don't know, it feels weird because I feel like there'd be positions where with that same play in the corner and I'm rotating back. Granted, game was like forward. Like if my habit becomes all right, well, if I'm dropping back, I know he's gonna make a touch, and I just push forward. Like, am I pushing forward with game? You know what I mean? Like, am I cutting
mm,
him? and now we're in a straight line horizontally, like across field, because game is also like, well, I have boost, I'm turning up field,
Uh-huh.
and then I whatever recognize that I'm like, oh yeah, and then I turn to go, like, so just keeping I guess keeping better tabs on the third player on the field.
Mhm.
If I can obviously see the guy with the ball, and then just moving like.
And again, like
And
that can be helped tremendously just by the biggest thing. Like I swear to God, in calm is I have ball, and then that tells the next two guys like, okay, well I'm closer, I need to be too. That tells the third man, okay, my job's not to get beat. And we get dialed in. I'm very bad about getting dialed in and not telling you shit. Even though when I'm coaching other people, I say that back man should be communicating more than almost anybody because he sees the entire play. So like, if I see you're about to turn, I can say, "Hey, Squash, I got you," and then you don't have to do that or go through that whole mental process in your head. Because yeah, I am facing the play, and you can just grab boost and be outlet, or you can rotate back and be fine and not be forced to do some weird shit. So if I
I
calm
know,
better, I don't think that happens as much as well.
and I like Mike's suggestion too. One of the things that he's been like pushing us to do is like, because obviously we're at the point where we're like, all right, who has ball, that sort of thing. He's like, come if you have ball and what you're doing with it.
Yep,
And so
for
he's
sure.
been like
How
driving
many
that, like,
touches, where
where
I'm
is the
putting it.
ball going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're getting better on that one though. Ever
Yeah,
since he
like
said
I
it.
got double down line. Yeah. So that's something that we've like actively been practicing on, and it's
Yep.
been
Good.
improving. Um,
Good.
yeah,
That
it
is
really
good
is just
to hear.
about calming the information that the
Yeah.
other team doesn't for that advantage.
Well, are you guys good with this one? Do you want to go over another one? I know I took the full hour on this one, but I wanted to go over the things that I saw that were pretty important.
I mean, I think it's one of those two where, like, especially when like in KJ go to like watch it back, that it's a consumable amount of stuff to work on. I think, you
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
Where
I
it
think
doesn't end up being,
everybody's got something, which is good.
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't
Um,
end up being the whole,
it's good
like,
and bad.
And I think
let's build the whole house.
90% of the shit that you said in this one is exactly
It's gonna
like,
be what's happening. Yeah,
so like we went over several times we should have been scored on, right? So the games we lost, that's when that happened. Did the same shit and they scored it.
yeah.
We did get put
Yep.
on.
That is a very good inference.
Yep.
All right. Then if that if do you guys have any questions?
Nope, ask mine. I appreciate you.
Of course. Not a problem. Oh.